Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Jeff and team, for having us here to speak about the work that we are doing with regards to bridging barriers to operational technology security. My name is Awais Rashid. I am one of the founders and directors of Hectonics, which is a company which provides industrial control systems security training, and this work is done with my colleague Joseph Gardiner. In my other job, I am a professor of cybersecurity at the University of Bristol. But today I'm speaking to you on behalf of Hectonics. So what is it that we do? We are a company that provides training on cybersecurity of industrial control systems and the technologies that are utilized in these kind of environments, also often called as operational technology. We have over 20 years of expertise in this area and over 40 years of expertise in more cybersecurity in general. I'm old enough that I was playing with the early viruses. So the point that was made earlier about malware is fun. It definitely is. Our philosophy is that we focus on hands-on experience on real devices and systems. So you can see one of our boxes. This is equipment that we build and utilize in training people in terms of hands-on experience on industrial control systems security. So what is the OT security gap? Right. So we hear about the cyber skills gap all the time. Every year, this report comes out from ISC Squared, and there is always 3 to 4 million shortage globally. But that sort of generally covers all of cybersecurity. And yes, we have a workforce gap in cybersecurity in general, also IT security, as we would call it. But the gap is even more acute in terms of OT security. So the fact of the matter is that while we have a workforce gap in IT security as well, there is lots of people who understand security issues in regular IT systems that we use in our enterprises on a day-to-day basis, or websites and web servers and those kind of things. However, if you need someone to go and do a pen test or a security analysis of your power grid or your water treatment system or your industrial manufacturing facility, the number is quite low. And in many cases, people don't have that hands-on experience. And in fact, many times people are trying to transition from IT security into OT security, but that transition is not simple. Why is it not simple? Right. So in IT, of course, we're used to working with things like your regular computers, servers, networks, even mobile devices, bring your own devices, cloud environments, and so on. But we also have ready tools. So if you want to get into IT security, you can download Kali Linux, or a similar platform. You have plenty of resources available online. There is also kind of online courses that you can use to go and learn and start to actually make a foray into IT security. However, when it comes to OT security, we are dealing with very different kinds of devices. We are dealing with these really large-scale infrastructures, and Jeff was earlier saying that the theme of this year's event is cybersecurity in society, and really, I mean, these are infrastructures that serve large societal functions. They bring water and power into our homes, build things that we use manufacture things that we use on a daily basis. But yes, they have some IT in them as well, because regular computers and networks are also part of this. But they also use specialist devices, programmable logic controllers, remote terminal units, human-machine interfaces, which often, run very old firmware or operating systems, and are not typically patched over a long period of time. There is also the issue that you don't readily replace them every 2 or 3 years. The infrastructure lasts for decades, right? But what we don't have is something like Kali Linux. If you want to enter into OT security, okay, there is a number of challenges in terms of you to do that. First of all, there is loads of these specialist and proprietary devices, right? So you've got vendors like Siemens or Schneider or Rockwell or ABB building these devices. They have specific architectures, specific types of firmware, specific ways to actually access and program them. There is also, specific networking protocols that are used to talk to these kind of devices, like Modbus, Ethernet IP, Siemens S7, DNP3, those kind of protocols. So what do? If you want to go into IT security, often what people do, and that's what we have also been doing. We've been working in this field for quite a long time. You take something like Kali and you add additional tools to it. Okay, but where do you begin? Okay, you don't even know often where do you begin. And then many tools are old, they're not maintained, they don't really run easily as well, and you have to spend a lot of time trying to get them to work. But they still require specialist knowledge. So how do you understand what do you go and do and where to start? You can choose to roll your own platform, but you need, of course, lots of knowledge and prior experience to do that, and it's time consuming. Again, it's the same problems, okay? But you don't have a uniform platform that everybody can use and has a starting point. But tools are only part of the problem. What about exercises to apply those tools, right? So when it comes to IT security, it's things like web security, we've got loads and loads of stuff out there. Okay, so you can go and download the damn vulnerable web app or Metasploitable, or you can use the OWASP Juice Shop to learn a lot of things. Okay, so it's very challenging for anybody to learn where to start and how to build the basics. And it doesn't matter if you have a background in IT security and you're trying to move into OT security, or if you are someone who is a network engineer wanting to move into it. Given the nature of these systems, often safety engineers may have a really, really good transition path into becoming OT security specialists, but again, they don't know where to start. So that's where we have been working on. So we've been lucky to receive funding from Innovate UK as part of the Cyber Local program to do this. So over the past couple of months, we've been building a Linux distribution specifically to provide what currently Kali does for industrial control systems security. So the distribution is, of course, called Linux for industrial control systems, and it just provides, it's built on Debian. It provides you the kind of basic platform, very similar to what you currently do with Kali. Download it and run it either as a kind of native operating system or in a virtual machine, and it provides the kind of various tools in one space for people who want to do OT security to use. So, but also we wanted to make sure that there was some relationship with some clear relationship with industrial practices. So it's also really important for people to understand different attack stages and the impacts that arise from attackers' actions. So in this regard, one of the things that is used quite sort of regularly in industry is the MITRE attack matrix, which is specifically for industrial control system security as well, and has various stages, including impacts like, for example, inhibiting response function, impairing process control, or actually damaging processes or loss of safety and things like that. So one of the things that we've also done is we have done a mapping of the existing tools out there against the MITRE attack matrix, and they are now actually grouped into the distribution according to the various attack stages, as you can see on the screen. I will go into sort of some examples. So, for example, here is an example of the collection stage tools, and you can see that some of these are, again, some of the regular IT security tools are applicable. So they are included here, things like Nmap and Etocap and Wireshark. But you will also see all these tools in yellow, which are tools that are sort of typically used. But as I said, these are older tools, so we have kind of packaged them in runnable formats, so people can easily launch them and work with them. So the Industrial Security Exploitation Framework, or SMOD, or PLC Scan, and things like that. And here is just an example. Everything is quite nicely and neatly packaged. You can launch something. There is the usual thing. You've got man pages to understand what the various tools do. But that's not only it. We are also building new and easy to use tools ourselves, which we are incorporating into the platform. So this is an example of easy to use end-to-end scanner that we've been building. And in this case, what you can do is you can quite easily kind of scan the kind of various IP ranges which would be within your environment, but you can actually run specific scans for industrial control systems devices in here directly. You don't have to kind of, this is again aimed at people who want to kind of easily do this work. So, no particular command line experience even is required here. And you can choose to kind of, protocols that you want to test. So you can see on this screen, you can test for things like S7COM, Modbus, Ethernet IP, or DNP3. And then you can also run particular scans according to whichever device you want to target and get more information. We're also building other easy-to-use tools like easy-to-use launchers, which allow you to kind of, go through the kind of various MITRE attack phases and easy to kind of launch different tools. So part of this is we are also going to be running free boot camps in the Southwest, where we will provide hands-on training to make a start into OT security. So these are not aimed at people who already work in OT security. These are aimed at people who want to move into OT security. So, for example, people coming from IT security, people from safety engineering backgrounds, or people just starting out in the field. These are the dates for the boot camps. We will be running them during March. We will also be providing people with copies of Linux on live USBs as well to take away, and people will have a chance to play with our training boxes as well using Linux. One of my colleagues is going to post a link to the Exeter bootcamp in the chat shortly. But after this, we will also make the ISO for Linux available. We will also have virtual machines in various formats available to download via our website. This will also have starter learning resources for people to download. We plan to continue to regularly update Linux. As I noted, we are building tools ourselves, which we will continue to incorporate. But this will also be open to contributions from the community. So if anybody knows of tools that we haven't currently incorporated, please do get in touch with us. If you're writing a tool you want it to be incorporated, please get in touch with us. Depending on how things go, it depends how far we get in the next few weeks, but we should have a proper, if not in this release, in the next release, we will have a proper APT repo, so we will be able to kind of incorporate tools more readily rather than directly building them into an ISO. But we are a small team, so our sort of focus right now has been on kind of building the initial platform. But depending on how things go, either in this release or the next one, there will be a proper update mechanism incorporated into the platform. So that's really it. As I said, I wasn't gonna spend too much time. This is us. The QR code will take you to our website if you want to sign up to the boot camps. But I'm happy to stop here and take any questions.